Well, hello, Women of the Channel Leadership Network. I'm Jackie Rives, your community leader, and welcome to another Woman of the Week. This week, I'm so excited to introduce you to Divya Rajapopalan, Senior Director, Alliances and Channel, Digital Innovation and Transformation for ServiceNow. Welcome, Divya. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you, Jackie, and thank you for having me.
Yes, my pleasure. All right, well, let's start out a little simple. So how about sharing with our listeners where you live and where you grew up, if that's different?
Of course. I live in California, in San Jose. I moved to the United States when I was 8 years old from India. I actually lived in North Carolina for 5 years and then my family made a move over to California. So I've been in California most of my life.
I love California.
Yeah.
So pretty. How about what is a little known fact about you?
Little known fact. I am a big volunteer. I am a CASA advocate, which is a court-appointed leader for foster care children. Basically, mentor foster care children and also help them during their court appointments and speak on their behalf, especially in terms of if they want to be placed within their foster care home or whether they want to be placed, with their extended family. So that's a little known fact about me.
I love that. That's a great little known fact. On behalf of all those children, I'm sure you're helping. Thank you for doing that, dedicating your time for that. That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. How about tell me about your career path and how you reached the position you're in today?
Wow, I've had an extensive career path. I actually started off, believe it or not, in the mortgage industry. I was there for almost 10 years, grew my ranks there, ended as vice president, I worked in the secondary marketing, which was really setting interest rates on mortgages and then helping in selling our pool of mortgages to Wall Street investors. After the mortgage crisis happened, I realized, hey, probably need to change jobs and maybe go into a different industry. And that's when I looked into the technology industry. I started off at VMware, was there for a very long time. And then very soon realized that, hey, I'm something different. I want something new. And I was shopping ServiceNow for a while. It has such a great leader. What we do in terms of workflows is so powerful. And so then moved into ServiceNow and have been there for, I'll go on 6 years this year at ServiceNow. Within ServiceNow, I started off really within a program operations role for the partner ecosystem. And I built our first partner side offshore model, really building a offshore model for India specifically, and employing Indian workforce to help on the operations side. And so doing all of that allowed me to continue my growth. Really was looking for, how do I continue to build momentum? How do I continue to stay focused and really look at what's important for me? And what was important for me was to be authentic. And I really grew in my career by staying authentic to myself and ensuring that I had, I think more so ensuring that I had great relationships built throughout the company.
Yeah, you're speaking my love language when you're talking about authenticity. I love it. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
I'm going to move on to one of my favorite questions, because I feel like I always learn something new that I can, that's going to resonate with me. So I know that it will definitely help our listeners. So what do you do to protect or create that work-life balance?
Wow. This topic is very near and dear to me. I have 3 children. I'm a single mom. And those 3 children obviously crave my time. And there was a time in my life where I did not have work-life balance. But more so over the last few years, I've realized that time is precious, family is precious. So what I do for myself is I use my calendar a lot, my Outlook calendar. I definitely do space out my meetings. I do block off times on my calendar so that I can simply either stand up, walk, take my dogs for a walk, or just even to grab a meal. The other thing that I do is I follow what I say. A lot of times leaders, tell their staff, hey, if you're on vacation, go on vacation. Yet they work through their vacation. I think it's really important to be able to show your team that what you say you follow in your same practice. So when it is my vacation time, my phone is off, my laptop's off. I'm very focused on my family, and I make sure that I do that. And the last thing is, the one thing we don't know how to do is say no. And I have really, really followed a lot of my previous leaders' practice in, just because someone says, hi, I need this, doesn't mean that you have to say, okay, I will do it for you and I will get it done. It's okay to say, I understand that you need this. Unfortunately, I also have, 3 or 4 other priorities. I can tell you that I will get it done. However, I will need X amount of time. This allows you to also focus on the critical, but also not, take, away the additional time that you need to really focus on your personal life. So those are the 3 mantras that I follow, at least in my life today.
Yeah, no, I love each one of those. You reminded me with your third one, kind of protecting your yeses by saying no.
Exactly.
Somebody said that to me and I was like, wow, when you think about it like that, it makes so much sense because yeah, I mean, I definitely have been sure, I'll do that. And sometimes they may not even need it right now. They're just saying, I need it. So asking questions is the best way to go, to kind of protect you, and the other person too on what they need.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. How about, let's see, how did you overcome any gender related roadblocks in your career?
I am in the technology industry, surrounded by a lot of men, great men, great intelligent men. And a lot of times when you're in a meeting, and I found this, and I'm sure many will relate, you're in a meeting and you're overpowered because there are a lot of men in the room, and maybe you're one of 2 women. What I found is that it is so important and critical for us to get our voice heard. And the way to do that is to ask questions, not to be shy, raise your hand, make sure that you have a seat at the table, even if it is at a leadership level meeting, make sure you have a seat at the table, make sure, and no comment or no question is ever bad, right? It's somebody else is thinking the same thing. And so what I encourage, even, folks that I mentor or other women that have come to me is make sure that you're heard. We've got to lift the gender bias. I also sit on a Women at Now belonging group within ServiceNow. And so doing that also allows other women to then see, hey, there's an Indian woman in this group. Maybe we can relate, or maybe there's things that she says that will help us also. And so really also, finding my belonging group, encouraging women to join those belonging groups, it really does help, you in terms of your own career, and you'll get a lot of great ideas on things that you can do. Those are the big things that I think are critical. In my recent dissertation that I just completed, I talk a lot about the gender bias. There's the boys networking, boys club, and so we need to break that. And the only way you do that is to ensure that you're talking to your DEI organization, to your leadership, to say, hey, I'd like for you to not have your social gathering on a Tuesday at 5 p.m. because that's when I pick up my children. Can we potentially do it in the afternoon or something? So it's also making sure you're you're speaking your mind to your own leadership teams.
I love that. So transparent, like you're encouraging transparency. And I love how you even like emphasize there is no, lack of a better word, stupid question. Like ask questions, engage, listen, like you're going to learn something, and probably people are going to learn something from what you have to say. And you do have something to say.
Yeah, exactly. And I think women just sometimes are, maybe when you see, you know, a big group of men in one room and you have only 2 women, sometimes it's hard. It's hard for a woman to be able to say, oh my God, should I say this? Or, and I just want women to feel more empowered to be able to raise their voice and say what they need to say.
Well, I know that that's going to resonate with many of our listeners.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a little bit more time. So let's get, where do you find or look for inspiration and mentorship for yourself?
You know, there's this word that is so important for me. It's the word guru. A guru, when you're at school, is your teacher, because your teacher is teaching you, right? You're learning. A guru at home is your parents, because your parents are teaching you the way of life, like do this and this is wrong, this is right. I think of a guru at work as my leader, as my mentor. Okay, for me, a guru is someone that is inspirational, that will be my champion, be my cheerleader, is focused on, you know, my growth, is able to communicate to me my flaws, is able to give me very constructive feedback. Those traits are very, very important for me. And what I do, and this didn't happen early on in my career. You know, you grow and you learn, right? As you are working. What I learned is you have to pick your leader according to what you desire. So for me, every leader that I've worked for has to check that box. Do they fit the mold of a guru? Are they going to be compassionate? Are they going to help me learn? Are they going to give me, you know, feedback that's going to allow me to grow? Will they sit in a room and if my name is mentioned, be able to say, yes, she is great for this job and she deserves this role? I'm always, I resonate with that. And so when I'm choosing my mentor or my manager or leader, those are the traits that I look for. And I've been very fortunate to find that within ServiceNow. I've been very fortunate to find that in a lot of the women leaders, even in some of the men leaders that I've had. I choose according to that. So the job is there, right? I mean, you'll find any job, and yeah, maybe the job is really something that you want to do, and obviously that's relevant and important as well. But it's equally important to make sure that your manager is also the same. So that word guru is what is important for me.
Divya, I can't thank you enough for sharing a little bit more about you, your journey, your authenticity. I know I learned a lot from you again today. I think you're amazing. In the people that you are mentoring are very fortunate to have that authenticity in you and care. To, you know, lift them up and guide them in the direction that they want to go in. So thank you again for being here today with us.
Thank you, Jackie, and thank you for having me again.
All right, women of the channel, this was another Woman of the Week. We hope you have a fabulous Wednesday.